Good afternoon. Welcome to this live where we're going to be talking about how to start on retinol. So we are going to cover the topic of retinol and touching on things like how often and how much to use, what to expect and what's normal, anticipated reactions, the duration of these reactions and how long they'll last, how to make this fit your lifestyle, and what to do about sun exposure. Say if you're traveling, should you still be on your retinol? So I get a lot of questions on a routine basis about retinol, and it's really the star player in our skincare routine. And so I want to just do my best in a short amount of time to address those most frequently asked questions so that you guys get guidance and that you're able to really do this well and stick with it and reap the rewards. So we will keep it pretty brief, maybe 20 minutes, and I have a lot to cover. So first of all, what are the benefits of retinol? Because if we're gonna spend, the next 20 minutes talking about why it's a hard thing to adjust to and how we can push through that process, you really need to know what are the benefits at the finish line and why do we even do this and why it's so important. So in skincare research, retinol is like the #1 product next to sunscreen that is going to do good for your skin health. So it is rebuilding your damaged skin. It's strengthening your skin. It is stimulating collagen, which from the age of 25 onward, we're losing collagen at a rate of 1% every year. Then we go through menopause and we lose like another 30% in the 5 years following menopause. It takes a huge dive. So for collagen stimulation, this is so important for the appearance and the health of our skin. It also stimulates hyaluronic acid within the skin. So everybody is applying topical hyaluronic acid these days because the skincare industry has led you to believe that that is an effective topical ingredient, which it's not. And we could do a whole other live on that. Don't waste your money on topical hyaluronic acid. It will dry out your skin in the long run for a short-term benefit, but something like retinol will actually increase your internal production of hyaluronic acid. So you do want to be using that. And always pairing with a sunscreen. The sunscreen is going to be preventative. I get a lot of clients that come see me for wrinkle relaxers such as Botox, neuromodulators, but if we're not preventing further sun damage and wrinkling, then what's the point of even doing those treatments, right? So retinol will go hand in hand with any injectable treatment accomplishing your goals because it's also going to minimize your fine lines, deeper wrinkles if you use it. A stronger strength and one that penetrates deep. You can get the deeper wrinkles and smooth out your pores, treat acne. Really, it can do everything for just healthy maintenance of your skin, but treating disease states in the skin as well. So acne, melasma, hyperpigmentation, sun damage, even rosacea can be helped with retinol. We just have to get you on it gradually for your sensitive skin type. So now let's get into, since we all are on the same page and we understand that we need to be on retinol, how do you even start it? And what can you expect from that course? So I talk a lot on my page. I've made reels in the past where I show like my own process with at-home retinol peels so that you can really see what that reaction looks like. When I'm treating models who share their photos, I'll show even what that retinol reaction looked like for them, how long it lasted, to give you an idea of what you're signing up for. And it is a process and it takes commitment and you have to stick with it. So you can expect to see in your skin anticipated reactions, and they're not harmful to your skin. What's happening is you're triggering an acute inflammation, which is different than a chronic inflammation. We don't want chronic inflammation in the skin. That is indicative of a disease state in the skin. Or just from environmental factors contribute to chronic inflammation. There's things we can do to protect against that. But an acute inflammation is different, and how our skin will respond to an acute inflammation is it will actually wake up the cells that have gone to sleep and have stopped functioning properly, and it kicks them into gear again. And your fibroblasts, which stimulate collagen, they wake up and they start working again, and you start pumping out collagen. That acute inflammation is going to show up as redness, flaking, even peeling, dryness, some stinging or burning, especially like when you apply your other products in the morning. And this can go on for weeks, okay? So it's a marathon, it's not a race. And this can also be tailored to the individual of what approach you want to take with getting on your retinol and how aggressive you want to be. So you can take an aggressive approach, a moderate approach, or a mild approach. And with my clients, they fall somewhere between a moderate or a mild approach. I'm really not taking the aggressive approach with anybody. I follow the teachings of Dr. Obashi, who has a skincare line, ZO, and he works in Beverly Hills. He treats a lot of movie stars and actors and actresses who need to get like screen ready in a short amount of time. He'll take an aggressive approach with a lot of people who want that because they only have 6 weeks to get their skin, you know, looking great for the role or the event. But that is like pretty extreme. So let's just talk about moderate and mild approach. Okay, so the frequency that you would use your retinol and how long you could anticipate to see a reaction if you're taking a moderate approach to getting on your retinol, you would be using it daily, ideally 2 pumps. Say if you're using, this is a really good one for everything for pores, deep lines and wrinkles. This is their wrinkle and texture repair. It's a 0.5%. That's of retinol, not tretinoin. So if you're on prescription, it's a different percentage. And so if you were using that 2 pumps every night, you would see a strong reaction, and your reaction could last anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks with really consistent use. So that could be 3 months of red and peeling skin. And then your skin adjusts, and then you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then your skin is plump and thicker. So retinol does not thin the skin, even though you're doing all that peeling. It's regenerating and it's thickening your dermis, which is exactly what you want as you age. Think of it like little children have this thick, squishy, pillowy, beautiful, healthy skin, and we're getting our skin back to a state more like that. So you do want it to be thicker, and retinol will make it thicker. So that's if you're taking a moderate approach. It could take 6 to 12 weeks of reaction. And your reaction could be more intense than if you're taking a mild approach. So some people can handle that. Maybe they work from home. Maybe they have a lifestyle where they're like, yep, I could commit to that. I really want this. And so then they could anticipate even up to 12 weeks. Don't get discouraged if you're at the like 8-week mark and you're like, I'm still peeling, I haven't adjusted yet, I can't do it. Then if what you want to do is you want to pull back, and then you could use a more mild application, like skipping nights as needed, using less of the product as needed. Certainly you want to be using supportive products like a really good moisturizer. I recommend the Soothing Ointment by ZO for strong retinol reactions. It's very calming and soothing. It's an occlusive ointment that covers the skin. So if you think that a moderate approach is going to be too aggressive for your lifestyle, you're welcome to take a mild approach. What that's going to look like is you're going to stretch it out over a longer period of time with a lesser reaction. You will still probably see some redness, dryness, fine lines and wrinkles, like especially around the eyes, will look worse before they look better because you're going to see dryness. Your skin's going to be drier and it's going to look bad before it looks good. But I promise you it will look good, and it's worth it. So with a mild approach, you might be applying 3 times a week versus nightly, and you're going to spread those out, so not back-to-back 3 nights. You could start at 2 nights a week and kind of adjust to that, and as tolerated, go up to 3 nights a week. If that's going okay for you at 3 nights a week, then you can add another night and kind of take it as that progresses. Now, if you're taking a mild approach, it's going to take you longer for your skin to adjust, and it's going to take you longer to get your final result. And if you have a disease state in the skin, it's going to take you longer to fully treat that disease state. So with a mild approach, it might be 20 weeks. It could be 12 to 20 weeks of some reaction in the skin, albeit a lesser reaction and one that might be more suitable for your lifestyle that you can kind of live with. I find that the exfoliating polish in the morning to scrub away my dry flakes, and then a really good moisturizer, the Soothing Ointment if I'm like burning and it feels raw, or the hydrating creme for dryness, either of those are really, really good. And then definitely you want to be wearing your sunscreen over that. So I like the ZO Sheer Fluid for when I'm going through these reactions, because it has like a really, well, sheer fluid consistency, unlike the primer, which I love for like all other times. But the primer is a little bit thicker, and because it has that primer quality, if you have really dry skin or flaky skin, it might even address like draw more attention to that, versus the sheer fluid, which I think is really nice and just like hydrates or moisturizes the skin rather than drawing attention to any dryness. Okay, so those are kind of your options for approaches, how long of a period it might take you to adjust. And then the light at the end of the tunnel is that your skin is adjusted. You're no longer going through your reactive phase. If you go off of it for a period of time and then you go back on, you'll go through a reactive phase again. It might not take as long the next time. It kind of depends how long you've been off of it, how much damage you've done, things like that. Everybody's different. That brings me to a question that I get asked a lot is, can you take your retinol on your spring break vacation to Mexico? And I actually made a reel about this, which is going to go up soon. So when you see it, you can share it to spread the word, because this is such a common question and I feel like everybody wants to know. It depends. So if you are red and raw and really in an acute reactive phase, then you can take a break when you're getting a lot more sun exposure on your spring break in Mexico or Hawaii. And if you are adjusted, if you are no longer, peeling aggressively, then you can just continue. You can just maintain. And as always, you're going to be really careful about your sun protection. And you'll be more careful whether you're on retinol or not when you're in a sunny destination about your sun protection. So reapplying sunscreen, not just once a day application, but actually reapplying, wearing a hat to shade your face, seeking out shade where you can. As long as you follow those basic principles, then it is okay to wear retinol in sunny climates. Even if you are still adjusting, maybe just use it a couple times that week versus nightly, so you don't have to go off of it entirely. Just protect your sun with good SPF use. Protect your skin, sorry, not your sun. Okay, so we talked a bit about how to make it fit your lifestyle in terms of which approach you're taking, how often you're going to use it. You can just like gradually increase your usage as you find that you're tolerating it okay. You can kind of bump it up, or you could take a more aggressive approach at the beginning, and then you could like dial it back if you find that you need to and it's too much for you. It's really up to you. You're in the driver's seat. And if you have an event that you don't want your skin to be peeling for, if you are going to someone's wedding, or let's say you're getting married yourself, if there's any event, stop usage, I would say 5 days before for a big event. And then your skin will be glowing because it will have restored itself so much from all this time that you've been using the retinol. But that will give you enough time to really get over your reaction. Some retinols are extended release, and so the reaction comes like days later after taking them. And then the wrinkle and texture repair that I mentioned, this is a rapid release and it goes deep. So you see your reaction typically the next day. With those extended release ones, yeah, give it like 5 days that you're off of it, because you're not even going to be seeing the reaction from one application until a couple days later. Does that make sense? We talked about sun exposure. Oh, I want to talk about prescription tretinoin versus retinol. So if you are on prescription tretinoin that your physician put you on, that's terrific. If you've adjusted to that and you've been on it and your skin is probably glowing and looks like I won't say a 13-year-old because they get acne at that age, but say it looks like a 9-year-old, and you have beautiful, healthy skin from your prescription tretinoin, that is wonderful. But that is also a prescription strength medication, which ideally you would be on that for a short course of 5 months to treat a disease state in the skin, such as acne or such as melasma or sun damage. And once that disease state is treated and cleared and you're on your medication for maintenance, you don't want to be on prescription tretinoin for maintenance long-term. You should switch to retinol. It converts differently to retinoic acid in the skin, and you wouldn't want to be on any prescription medication like every day for the rest of your life just to maintain, right? So it's better to be on the lower strengths, and you can maintain on retinol versus tretinoin. You can pulse on and off. So if you are just looking for healthy preventative aging, you just want to keep your collagen levels nice and high, you can once a year, say, go on tretinoin for 5 months, pulse on it, do a more aggressive treatment for that period of time, and then for the rest of the year, go back on your medical grade retinol. So I'm gonna check if there have been any questions. And if you do have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I hope that this has been informative. Okay, see if I covered everything that was in my notes. Okay, so if people want help with their skin, I do skincare consultations. I do them in person and I do them virtual, so we can walk you through a really customized skincare program that is bespoke to you and what you can expect from it. And you set your goals and you decide how aggressive you want to be, and we can work with that. And so I can give you an idea of what to expect and kind of coach you through it. So you can book a skincare consultation with me through my Calendly, through my link in bio. And also for my existing clients, if you feel that you need to touch base with me and you need a follow-up, I offer follow-up. So you can book a follow-up appointment with me through my Calendly as well. And we can check in and see how your skincare routine is doing. And I always love to see your progress and love to see your results. So please don't ever hesitate to follow up with me too. Oh, thanks, Ellie. It's been very informative. Thanks for being here. Which other ingredients do not get on well with retinol? So I would separate your vitamin C in the morning and your retinol at night. And you may want to do your glycolic acid in the morning and your retinol at night as well. You can just kind of separate those actives. What is difference between retinol with an O and retinol with an A? I'm not sure retinol with an A. I haven't heard of that. Is that a brand? It's with an O. And we talked about the difference, tretinoin, if that's maybe what you're thinking, that is prescription. And there are different strengths. So somebody with sensitive skin can use retinol, but what we should do is take it slow with you. We can put you on calmer, gentler products to help restore a healthy skin barrier first, because when you have sensitized skin and you have rosacea and you have a lot of dryness and redness, then you have an issue with a skin barrier that's not intact. It's not retaining hydration properly. And so we can put you on a calmer, gentler basic routine to get your skin barrier intact, and we can gradually introduce a low dose retinol. So that would be a mild approach for somebody with sensitive skin, but you certainly can get on this product, and it will actually control your sebum production, which sebum is contributing to rosacea as well. So long-term rosacea should have retinol in its routine. That's kind of a misconception, that it shouldn't, that you have to always treat it gently forever, but it's just a matter of getting you on it properly so you can tolerate it and so that you can be consistent, but your skin will benefit from it. Okay, so I don't see any more questions. Thanks everyone for being here. I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna try to do another live on Monday the 11th. Drop in the comments when I repost this to my feed if you have requests for what topics you'd like me to cover. So I'm happy to cover any topics that you guys are thirsty for knowledge. If you have questions that pertain to the specific topic, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will answer. And have a great day, everyone. Bye.